Hey, what's up, man?
So what do you tell Jeff Horn?
I mean, let's fight.
I mean, let's fight.
I mean, really nothing else to say. I mean, he has a belt, I have a belt. Let's unify.
Let's unify.
What happens in that fight?
I got a belt now, so
Okay.
Sean Porter got a belt too.
So now
Sean Porter got a belt too. Sean Porter. So why won't I go to easy road and knock Sean Porter out? So why won't I go to easy road and knock Sean Porter out?
So why am I going to easy road and not Sean Porter out?
Oh, that was different.
That sounds to me, Mike, like a duck.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? So yes, sir, man. While you at it, man, be sure to go ahead and check out the merch, man. We got some fly hoodies, some coffee mugs, water bottles, all kind of good stuff for you, man. So be sure to check out the merch, man. And then while you're at that, be sure to check out some of the perks for the memberships as well, man. You know what I mean? We got that going on right now, man. Support the channel, you know what I mean? Support the channel. Anyway, with all that out the window, man, y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Stephen Espinoza just confirmed that Jaron Ennis ducked Terence Bud Crawford, right? But don't take my word for it, y'all. Check out this interview by Stephen Espinoza and listen for yourself.
You heard grumblings that Bud wanted to fight Boots and that they reached out. Were those talks ever really tangible?
I saw some stuff about people talking about, like, some discussions with BLK Prime. I wouldn't characterize that as a discussion. There was a discussion.
Okay, so let's stop it right here. Stephen Espinoza just confirmed that there was a discussion. Let me say that shit again. There was a discussion for Bud Crawford, the champion, 3-weight division champion, 2-time lineal champion, 1-time undisputed champion, current WBO welterweight champion. There were discussions for Bud Crawford, the champion, to fight Jaron Ennis, the challenger, the contender, the guy who never had a belt, the guy who doesn't have a belt, the guy who doesn't have a name, the guy who doesn't carry any kind of recognition or notoriety, the guy that doesn't bring any large money to the table, no huge fan base, nothing like that. That guy, there were talks for Bud Crawford of his own fruition to make a fight between himself and this guy, right? So let's just ruminate on that for a moment, right? Bud Crawford had absolutely no reason whatsoever to fight a Jaron Boots Ennis, and for him to do that just shows what type of fighter, what type of guy a Terence Bud Crawford is, right? It just shows what type of guy he is, what type of dog he is. You've never heard Earl Spence at any point in time, ever, and I do mean ever, mention fighting a Jaron Boots Ennis. Even though Jaron Boots Ennis is Earl Spence's mandatory, you have never heard Earl Spence say that he would fight a Jaron Ennis. You've heard him say shit like possibly, maybe, a whole bunch of vague bullshit, even though Boots is mandatory. But you've never heard Earl say anything like this. But Bud Crawford has not only acknowledged Boots Ennis as a possible opponent, he actually went out of his way in order to make a fight with a Jaron Ennis, which again, I might add, is something that he absolutely, positively had no reason to do. Every single thing to lose and nothing to gain by fighting a Jaron Boots Ennis, right? So let it be known to everybody out there in the highways and the byways, Terence Bud Crawford tried to make the fight with Boots Ennis. But on the other side, on the other hand, Jaron Boots Ennis, a guy who was ranked number 3 in the WBO, decided that it would be a better idea to fight in an eliminator for the IBF, an eliminator to become the interim champion for a guy in Earl Spence who hasn't fought a mandatory in over 4 years. He decided it would be a better idea to go ahead, move over, and fight for that interim belt rather than fight a Terence Bud Crawford, a guy who has a track record of fighting every single mandatory that comes up, right? Every single mandatory that comes up, right? So we already know that that's the case. You know what I'm saying? We already know that that's the case. But I just wanted to leave you with that. And let's keep on going with this, what Stephen Espinoza talking about.
But the reality is, like, they don't have a deal with Crawford. You know, if Crawford's under contract to BLK Prime, then maybe it goes through that. But the reality is, they're trying to put together a fight just like we're trying to put together a fight. So the reality is, it was a very short conversation. They didn't really bring much to the table.
If you've been rocking with the channel for a while, then you should be familiar with this phrase. Duck language. Duck language. Doesn't bring nothing to the table. Duck language. So here's why Stephen Espinoza is wrong. He says that they didn't bring nothing to the table, but they were willing to put up the money for the fight, right? Let me say that shit again for the people in the back. He says BLK Prime didn't bring nothing to the table, but they were willing to put up the money for the fight. So how is that not bringing nothing to the table? Somebody make it make sense. You willing to put up the money and promote the fight, but you ain't bringing nothing to the table, right? But then he said they don't have a deal with Bud Crawford, but you don't got a deal with Boots Ennis, according to Bozy Ennis, when he says,
I'm gonna tell y'all, I never signed up with Showtime.
So Bud didn't sign with BLK, Ennis never signed with Showtime. What's the problem? Y'all still managed to put on Ennis's fights, just like BLK managed to put on a Terence Bud Crawford fight. But again, how are they not bringing nothing to the table if they're putting up the money for the fight? It ain't like they was asking Showtime for a loan. It ain't like they was asking Showtime to make the fight for them. No, they were going to promote the fight and they were going to pay the fighters. So they were bringing something to the table, meaning the entire fight. So what the fuck is Stephen Espinoza talking about? If anything, what Stephen Espinoza confirmed is that they don't want the fight. And I want to be really clear when I say they don't want the fight, right? Because maybe Boots Ennis does want the fight, right? Maybe he does. Maybe Boots Ennis does want the fight. We don't know. We haven't heard Boots Ennis talk about it. Maybe it's his team and Showtime that don't want the fight. But you know what? It's still a duck. You know why it's still a duck? Because Showtime, his team, Bozy Ennis, they're all representatives of Jaron Ennis. So if they ducking, he ducking. Point blank period. End of discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up right here, man. Let me know what your thoughts is, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, bro, I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.